All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to our Wednesday morning Inner Circle Live session. I'm your host, Ryan Carthage. We'll be joined shortly by my awesome partner, Mr. Benny Allen. Hope everybody's doing well today, ready to get this Wednesday started, this hump day. So, as always, let's turn off all distractions, grab a pen and paper for notes, and let's prepare to participate and engage. And then, for the courtesy of everybody on the call, please ensure that your mic is muted if you're not actively asking a question or making a comment. All right. Um, Real quick, just drop me a one in the chat if you can hear me okay. Getting some notifications here. Just want to make sure. Cool, coming through loud and clear. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. So let's hop over to trading economics. Appreciate the feedback. We'll take a look at a couple things that came through early this morning. And then we will dive into the charts, see what's happening. And as we're going through the fundamental side of things, if you have any pairs that you want me to take a look at this morning, drop those into the chat for me. And we can work those in as we move through. All right. So top news. Germany factory orders rise the most since 2021. Factory orders in Germany unexpectedly jumped 4.8% in February, the most since June 2021, following a downwardly revised 0.5% rise in January and way above forecast of 0.3% gain. It was the third consecutive month of gains led by large-scale orders of vehicles. So that's a little bit different than what has been expected or what has been happening when it comes to production and fundamental information coming out of not just Europe, but around the world. So this is something that could support the ECB stance of being hawkish, right? Orders are still coming in, right? So that means there isn't a slowdown from a production perspective. Okay. So something that we will definitely keep our eyes on. We'll definitely keep our eyes on as we move through the remainder of the month. Right. So that was definitely some big information there. And then last night, New Zealand unexpectedly hiked the cash rate by 50 basis points instead of the 25 that was projected. So here, the Reserve Bank lifted the official cash rate during its April meeting by 50 basis points to 5.25, highest since December 2008. All right. It was 11 straight hike, defying market expectations of 25 basis points as consumer inflation remained persistently high and employment beyond its maximum sustainable level, right? So the employment market is still hot. The decision brought the total of 500 basis points increase since 2021. Central Bank noted economic activity over Q4 2022 was lower than anticipated, but demand continues to outpace supply, right? Particularly following the recent weather events. Going forward, the RBNZ is expected to see a continued easing in domestic demand and a slowdown in core inflation and inflation expectations, right? The extent of this moderation will determine the direction of future monetary policy, right? And they also stated there's no material conflict between lowering inflation and maintaining financial stability in New Zealand, right? We know that's been major talk with the banks and things of that nature. And they're saying there's no conflict. Their goal is to get inflation down, and that's what they plan to do. So something that we'll definitely continue to monitor as things move forward. All right. So that's what happened last night out in New Zealand. And Those are the two primary things. French industrial output rises more than expected, right? Something else coming out of the Eurozone. So more production beating expectations, right? Beating expectations. We come over to Forex Factor and we take a look, right? And here are some of those results. Okay. So again, right, some mixed data here. PMI came in a little bit below expectation. A German the pound PMI, services PMI came in almost right at target. But overall, there's information here that does support the potential continued hawkish tone coming out of the ECB. All right, so that's where we stand. Later today, we got ADP non-farm employment change. Right, generally it's a precursor to the data that comes out on Friday. We will see how that goes. Expecting 208,000 jobs being reported there. And then we have ISM services PMI coming out at 10 o'clock. We also have crude inventories coming out today as well. So that's the rest of the day. Benny, good morning, bro.
Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, everybody. How are you, Ryan?
I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
Oh, man, doing pretty good. It's a great day.
Yes, sir, it is. Yes, sir, it is. Anything that you saw out of from a fundamental perspective that caught your eye?
No, man, it's just amazing how how some of these fundamentals, like how they travel along similar paths, like just like it was here in the United States, how output numbers and things like that continue to be robust for quite some time. As the Feds were hiking rates, it's the same thing you can see with a lot of the Eurozone data, a lot of positive news coming out of the Eurozone. And we know that in the beginning, the ECB was a laggard in regards to hiking those rates, especially around, when the war had started. So they kind of fell behind in regards to some of, in relation to some of the central banks that were hiking rates at a super fast pace straight out the gate, like the United States and some other countries. But now, they're playing catch up, and we're seeing that same narrative where they're hiking rates aggressively, outputs are still good. And then similar to what the what happened last night with the 50 basis points, how they're saying that it's kind of, hey, we can walk and chew gum at the same time as two separate things in regards to the banking and the rate hikes. It's the same thing Lagarde said, right? Just a couple of weeks ago. Same type of same thing. So it's amazing to watch how the narrative plays out with these central banks.
Yeah, man, that's true. That's very true. Yeah. Man, oh man. It should be fun to watch. Should be fun to watch. Cool deal. Appreciate you, bro. Let's dive into the charts. We'll take a quick peek at the dollar. I do want to run through some of the euro crosses that we had some positions sitting in as those have pushed, and then we'll go from there. So real quick on the dollar. Yesterday, all right, and this is on the 4, we had pushed below this daily support level here, right? And we're getting a little bit of a pullback now. And we'll see how things continue to move throughout the day today. All right, let's see if this continues to push to the upside or we continue making that move down, right? On my 4-hour fibs here, I had them running to the upside on that move. And we see that A got taken out. So I'm going to flip these and run them from the top of this right tip down as we continue to track the crown pattern. All right. And we'll see that was a fresh AB boundary there. And we'll see how things continue to transpire as we move throughout the rest of the week. All right. So a little pullback on the DXY right now, but we'll see how the data comes out. But we're looking at price continuing to move to the downside. All right. So that's the quick look there. Let's take a look at this Euro Aussie. Right, these Aussie crosses, the Aussie, right? A little bit of weakness, right? So here we're looking for, we had price stalling at this monthly level, had a push down, and then price started to make its way back to the upside, and seeing, right, nice bullish action here coming out of the year with that data, right? So we're pushing to the upside here, coming into another monthly resistance level. This level got taken out, okay, and we broke this previous daily level as well, right? Previous daily level, and we're pushing to the upside, right? So we'll see now what happens at 164.425, which coincidentally, right, daily time frame puts us right into that 118 and 127 zone on the daily. Okay, so we'll see what happens when we get there, and then reassess price. Right, coming down to the 4, we see here. Right, here's our 80-20 that we're tracking on the 4-hour. Right, and price is pushing to the upside. I had brought my stop down into profit, and I got stopped out here. Price is pushing to the upside right now, right? 118, 127 zone, also in line with this 164, 425 level. Okay. So again, we'll monitor price again to see what happens as we push here. We may break through and continue pressing to the upside, right? As the data from the Eurozone comes in pretty hawkish there, right? So on the 4, we didn't push down yet, right? And we'll see what happens as we move to the upside there, right? So still in that 80-20 zone from a longer term perspective, but we're pressing higher into that zone. All right, we'll come down to the 1, and we talked about it, right? We did get to TP1 on the 1 hour, right? And now we're pressing back to the upside. Okay, now we're pressing back to the upside. So moving along here, approaching the D extension on the 1 hour. Okay, once that occurs, we'll get a fresh AB boundary here, right? But that's also in line with that monthly resistance level there. Okay, so continue to watch, or I'll be continuing to watch this one as we move into these higher ranges to see if we do get a reversal or if we break through and continue pressing to the upside. All right, so not going to take my eyes off of it just yet. I still think at some point the euros do get a retracement of some sort from a higher time frame perspective. It's just not ready to go yet, right? So I'll continue to watch that one, but pressing to the upside, the Aussies are pulling back a little bit, right? Getting a little bit of retracement on the Aussies. All right, so that's the Euro Aussie. Any questions on that one?
Nope.
Cool deal. Pop, you got a question? Good morning. Poppy, if you're talking, we can't hear you. But we'll continue rocking. 1 second, everybody. I got it. Okay, cool deal. Cool deal. Interesting. All right. So that's the Euro Aussie. The pound Aussie is also pressing to the upside, approaching the D extension. All right. So here on the daily time frame, okay, D extension is here, right? 188, 145, and we're pushing long. Okay, pushing long. We came back and retested this daily level that we broke through, and we weren't able to break back below it. Right, so we're pressing to the upside here on this pound Aussie as well. We could likely get to that D extension here. Okay, so we'll continue to monitor it and see how it goes. That's my stop loss there, coming down to the 4. Right, the stop loss is at the D extension on the 4 hour. Right, so this is where we sit there. Okay. And pressing long, I'm okay with it, right? I didn't pull my stop down on this one. So we'll see what happens as we continue to press to the upside here. right? Didn't get the full breakdown to TP1, and that's okay, right? That's okay. So we'll continue to monitor and see, but we're pressing long, likely get to the D extension here and on that daily time frame, and then we'll reassess, right? And then we'll reassess and see where things go from there, right? On the one, however, right, we did get to the D extension on the 1 hour. Okay, did get to the D extension on the 1 hour. Yeah, and that's where we sit, right? 8-6 retracement, 118 level was hit. Now we're looking for a swing high to form, pull back, and then we could likely get a continuation for a period of time at least, right? So we're looking for a reset on the 1 hour, but continue to press long on the higher time frames, right? After the retest of that daily level. Okay. We did talk about getting to that 1 hour and pushing deeper into that 118 127 zone. So we'll continue to monitor it as well to see if the Aussies do turn around. All right. But as of right now, they're bullish. I mean, the Aussies are bearish right now. Right. So we'll continue to monitor there. Any questions on that one? Nope. Cool deal. Take a look at. Let's take a look at this Euro CAD. See what's happening here. Still in the zone, right? Still pushing back to the upside here, right? After the push down, we're pulling back still. Still in that 118 127 zone. Coming down to our 4. Okay. Still pushing to the upside a bit, right? Strong bullish move here. We'll see if we get price to come back to the downside, retesting previous consolidation here. And we got a little bit of an indecision right now on this 4-hour candle. So we'll watch to see where we go. But if the euros do continue to stay hawkish, right, we could see this continue pressing to the upside, at least in the short term. Coming down to our 1, right, that's the pullback there on the 1, right, coming back into that 50% 618 retracement zone here, right. So we'll continue to monitor to see if we get a deeper push into the zone, right, or if we do break down and push to the downside. We do have those oil inventories coming today. We'll see if that has an impact on the market at all, or if the Canadian dollar, right, do got Canadian news coming tomorrow. See if there's a boost there to push price in the direction of the CAD. We'll see, right? But right now, still in this retracement phase. Okay. And then on the 15, we got this scenario happening, right? Shy of the 118 and 127 zone, but shallow retracement, push up. And let's see here if this 80-20 does play out and get us back to at least at 382, right? So here's a short-term opportunity for us, potentially play that retracement there, okay? Off an 80-20 scenario, right? Still do have the opportunity, right? Price to push to the upside, to push into that 118, 127 zone, okay? But on the intraday play, this is where we sit. So we could be in for a retracement, and then we'll see if price does continue to the upside in favor of the euro, or if we continue that move back down off of the higher time frames. All right. So here's an opportunity for us right here. A couple options. You can wait for the cloud break on the 15, right? Or you can take that down to your 5. Like so. And play the cloud break on the lower time frame, which I haven't got yet, right? So we're testing the cloud now. Still got a bullish cloud ahead, right? So that could be our signal that we could get maybe one more push into that 118 and 127 zone, right? So be patient. Allow the confirmations to come in for that intraday opportunity. If they don't come, don't take the trade, right? But we'll watch that and see how things transpire throughout the hour, and see if something sets up for us from that perspective. If we get that cloud break in our confirmations on that 5-minute time frame on the EuroCAD. All right. So that's the intraday opportunity there for the EuroCAD. Any questions? Nope. All right. Cool deal. Cool deal. Let's take a look at some of these Aussies that are pressing. Oh, before we do that, the CAD Swiss. Benny talked about it last night. I want to come back to that one real quick. So overall, we're still in this 118, 127 zone from a higher time frame perspective, but we're making higher lows, not quite higher highs yet, right? So we got this nice pullback over the last couple of days, coming down through the time frames, right? 4 hour. We're also still in that 118, 127 zone, right? Trying to make our way to the upside. We'll see if we're able to get there, right? Talking about the CAD, if we get some bullish action there. So when we come down here, we'll look at this from a couple perspectives on the 1 hour, right? So previously we had talked about looking for price to push down into the 618, 786, 86 retracement zone, right? Originally we didn't get it. Yesterday we did, right? I still have my limit order set there. That took me in, right? But we're pushed down into our sweet spot here, okay? Pushed down into our sweet spot and being talked about 80-20 scenario on this push down that looks like this. Boom. All right. Shallow retracement here. Got that push down. Let's see if we can push a little deeper into that 118, 127 zone here. Right? And still stay inside that original AB boundary and see if we get price to turn over and give us that retracement. Like so. All right? So that's the setup on the CAD Swiss from a 1 hour perspective, right? We're going to drop down to the 15 as well. But we also had this posted in the Discord as well. Whoops. There we go. Okay. TP1 and TP2. We'll see if we get price to turn over and pressure the upside here. Okay. So there's our setup on the 1. Pull the cloud out, see it a little bit more clearly there. Okay. So that's what we're looking at. That's what we're looking at. And if we do get that, I'm going to take these lines out, right? This is our box, that 618 to that A boundary. Okay, off of the original fib coming to the upside. So as long as we stay inside that A boundary, right? Look for price to turn over and pressure the upside. We could ultimately push long and maybe even take out that A if the CAD does gain the strength and we push north. All right. So that's how these combine. Right. This is our fib moving to the upside. This is our retracement. And then we'll see what happens on that push up. All right. You guys follow me there?
Yep.
Cool deal. Now down on the 15, we'll look at it a little bit more closely here. Right. And there's your look on the 15. Right. Similar to that 1, looking for potentially one more push down into that 118, 127 zone. And then see if we get price to turn over. Right. Trying to get bullish now. Right. So we may not get that final push. We'll see. All right. But we'll love one more push down into that zone. Give us that maximum exhaustion point. And then for price to turn over. Okay. But that's where we sit from an intraday perspective and from more of a swing perspective. TP1, TP2. Okay. Questions here?
No questions, just being patient, man.
Staying patient. Yes, sir. All right. Cool deal. All right. So that's the CAD Swiss. Aussie yen. There we go. This one is still bouncing around, right? Had some bearish action yesterday. Okay. I'm going to come down to the 1 hour time frame and take a look at this. Right. So here on the 1, I had my fibs originally running off the high coming down. Right. And we're still bouncing in between this AB boundary here. And this was the move down yesterday. Right. And Monday and yesterday. Right. Strong pushes to the downside. So on the lower time frames, we'll look to see if there's another retracement opportunity here. Right. But we also understand that the yens have picked up some steam as well. All right. So this one is kind of bouncing a bit. Right. From a higher time frame perspective, we're getting deeper into the zone. Right? We already got a 50% retracement level. Right. And now we're pulling back again. Okay. And even on our 4, right, we're making our way down. Retested that level, and we're making our way down. So the question is, do we get another retracement before we continue pushing to the downside? At 8635. You got short on that, Joy?
This was a account I forgot about. This activated on the 29th, so it's just been running.
You short or you long?
Short.
Short. Beautiful. Activated on the 29th.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Where is that at? Here. Okay. It's right around here. Now you're in profit. Hey, nice work. Nice work. All right. Allowing it to swing, retest, and now we're pushing back down to the downside. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Coming down here on this push back up here, right? Back into that 618 retracement zone. Stayed inside the A boundary, didn't take out your A, and we're pushing down. I like it, Joy. So now we come here to the 15, right? Being talked about, we got that retracement initially, right? Pushed up, got to the D extension, new AB boundary. And now we're breaking down again, all right? So now we flip our fib, that A got taken out, and we're looking here. Okay. So here's another scenario where we'll see if we get a retracement, come back, retest the previous support level here, around a 50% level, right? So look for something like this. All right. And then see if we get that continuation short. All right. So that's another one to keep our eyes on. Fresh AB boundary. All right. See if we get our confirmation for a retracement here. And then a high price to continue looking short in favor of the yen. Okay. So that's the scenario there. Questions on the Aussie yen? No?
No.
All right. Benny, you got anything you got your eyes on today, bro? Those are the ones that I've been looking at.
Let me check some things out. That's pretty much what I'm looking at as well. That's it. You got a possible correction coming on the no, I still want to wait on that one. No, that's it. I mean, that NZD JPY on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, on a 15. Right, maybe do some for a correction.
That too.
Yeah, just broke that low. See once it settles down, but that's pretty much it. Letting these ride out.
Yeah. I don't know what happened to my to my markup here. Excuse me. But on this NZD JPY, right? I'll mark out the fib on it real quick. Looking at this here. Right, that's our fib there. So there's a potential, right? We get the swing low to form. See if we push down into the 118, 127 zone off that last impulsive move down, and see if we get the swing there. Took back almost all of that bullish move to the upside, right? Or did take back all of that bullish move to the upside there. So we'll see if we get a retracement on it, but still waiting on that one. Still waiting on some confirmations there. Yeah. I'm not sure what's happening on these random charts getting taken out, but CAD yen. Let's take a look at it real quick, Joy. Higher time frames, right? Sitting in this 118, 127 zone still, right? Trying to push off the low, getting a bit of a retracement now. We'll see. This one will be an interesting battle. We know the yens are starting to turn over a bit as we got some bullish sentiment coming for the yen. But we also got some potential bullish sentiment coming for the CAD as well. So this would be an interesting battle in this 118, 127 zone. As we continue to move down, we see on the 4, right, still in that range as well. Okay, not able to break out to the top side, not able to break out to the bottom side. Coming into the 1, we're pressing deeper in the zone here. Okay, we didn't get this 80-20 scenario to play out, but it played out here. Okay, got to the D extension, first AB boundary, and then we got that deep retracement. Okay, so we could be in for this retracement that Benny talked about, right? We'll look at on the 15 and see where we sit, but stayed inside that A boundary on the 1. See if we get a retracement here, take back some of this bearish action that we had yesterday. Okay, so coming down to the 15, let's see. Boom. Right, this is what Benny mapped out for us last night. Shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone. We got a push. And now we're trying to make those lower highs and higher highs and higher lows here, right? Or we could be pushing out of that 118, 127 zone, making our way to the upside here, right? Like so. Okay. So that's the setup there on the 15, 80-20, looking for the move back long, at least in the short term. Okay. So there's another setup for us. Be patient, allow your rules to be met, and look for that entry opportunity there. Okay. Got a cloud break on the 5. Let's see. Pulling back now to retest the cloud. Bullish cloud ahead. Push up. Let's see. We might be due. We might be due for that retracement here. We got it just shy of that 618 retracement on the sub fib to the upside. We're pulling back to retest the cloud now. There's opportunity there. All right. And this one, I'd probably place it below the low there. Like that. There we go. Okay. There's your CAD yen. Questions there?
No, sir.
All right, cool deal. And so we're going to check back on that Euro CAD, right? Got the cloud break. Just waiting on that confirmation of the Kumo twist there. Didn't bounce off the cloud, right? Nice push. Waiting on the twist. And then we can we'll get our confirmation if we get that twist. We see here the cloud still hasn't given us that forward confirmation just yet, right? So staying patient there. Staying patient there. Where we at? 07. Yeah. All right, cool deal. So do you guys have any pairs that you have your eyes on that you want me to take a look at? We got about 20 minutes left in the session. Euro dollar. Sure thing. Overall, right? So come to the weekly time frame, pushing back to this weekly level at 110, right? Bullish. Right? We know the dollar's been continuing to press on the downside and bullish on the euro, right? So this makes sense. Pushing to the upside here, right? Almost complete inverse of the DXY. So here on the daily, broke back above this daily level here. We'll take that out, right? So looking here at this next level at 110.312. Okay, but we're bullish right now. 618 retracement. That's the next level. We'll see if we're able to break out and continue pressing to the upside, or once we get there, do we get a double top scenario, and do we make our way back down to the downside? Right. So that's something we'll continue to monitor to see. But bullish on this one right now. Coming down to the 4. All right. Similar story. 8-6 retracement here. Matching the extension is there. Got to break through this level first. All right. Got to break through that level first. So looking long here on this euro dollar. Coming down to the 1. We took out the A and then we pressed back to the upside. So we'll run this one from the low. Boom. So here we'll see. Right, we just broke above this daily level here. I delete them on the higher time frames, but this was a daily resistance level. So in this particular scenario, we'll see if we just get a retest here, and we get a break and retest, and then a continuation long. Right, unless that ADP data, unless the ADP data comes in. Extremely above the expectation, right? That would be potential catalyst to push this back down to the downside. So we'll watch this on the 1. We do have the 80-20 scenario here. So we'll see strong bullish action there though, right? So that data coming in a little bit could give us an indication of where this goes. Okay, so I'd be patient on this one. I'd just continue to watch and wait for that data to come out before any decisions are made here. Because, like I said, we could just retest this level that we just broke, right? Nice resistance level. Could just come back and retest and continue pushing to the upside to that 110 level. Okay, strong break there. Okay, so we definitely got to take that into consideration. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at there. Potential retest and continuation long, unless the data comes out differently and we get some mixed feelings from the investors based on the data. All right, so that's the euro dollar 80-20 scenario, but could not play out based on data, depending on how it comes out. What are your thoughts here, Carolyn? Same. No doubt. No doubt. Cool deal. Any other pairs that we got our eyes on? No?
Just continue to watch that Aussie fall bearish, man.
Yeah.
Just continue to watch it fall bearish, right? Off the swing that we talked about. We know that initial one missed that we called, but we said it was a possibility that it could push up to meet that trend line and that resistance level, and that's exactly what it did. When you look at the 4 hour, we got my fibs running to the downside on the 4. So coming out of the weekend, right, pushing up to that level, and you see exactly what it's doing.
Yep.
All right. So if you see if you run a downtrend line, right, then it came into that daily level, and it rejected. All right. So just a continuation down. So those Aussies pretty much across the board,
Yeah.
right, are just continuing. So yeah. So for those holding those longer term swings, right, just moving sell side.
Yep. Moving sell side. All right. Pound dollar. I can take a look at that GJ for sure. Let's take a look at the pound dollar first. Here we are. All right. Broke back above that daily level. That's no longer valid. Pushing long. Also broke above this weekly level as well, right? So sites now, we did push down and get to that 382 here, just barely, I believe. 118.017. Just short of that 382. But we're pushing long though, right? Pushing long here. Got a 118 127 zone in line with this 126 level, right? We could see that, especially if the dollar continues to be bearish, right? But pushing long here, nonetheless, on this pound dollar, coming down to the 4, right? We're still in that 118 127 zone. Don't have a 382 on the 4, right? And this next level, 126, is ahead of the D extension on the 4. All right, so we'll definitely continue to watch it to see how it goes. But right now, the dollar's pressing to the downside, right? Again, unless something drastic changes from a data perspective, right? The dollar's pressing down. So we're retesting this level on the 4 that we broke through. We'll see if that level holds, right? Again, going to be data dependent here, right? But if the level holds, we'll look for a press to the next level, right? If we do break back below, then we could be in for a price to move back down to the downside. Okay, so we'll watch that to see what happens throughout the morning today. But for our perspective, it is still in that 80-20 zone, so we'll continue to monitor it and see what happens, see if we get some confirmations to be met. But if not, we could be looking for that to continue to press to the upside. Coming down to the 1, similar to that euro dollar, right? 80-20 scenario. I mean, AB boundary here, pressing down, coming back to retest the level that we just broke through, right? Bullish cloud ahead. So again, this could just be a retest and continuation long, right? And coincidentally here on the 1 hour, right, that the 126 level also comes ahead of the D extension here, similar to that it does on the 4. So could press higher here into that zone, and then potentially see something happen later on in the week or next week, depending on how the data comes out. All right. So we'll watch. Okay. But that's the pound dollar. Questions there? But similar story to the euro. The GJ. This one's been fun too. So GJ. Couple things. We're caught in a range, right? Daily time frame, bottom of the range, top of the range. This 165.971 level held in a strong way here, right? Price tried to push up, break through, double top scenario, and we're pressing down, right? So we could be working our way back to the bottom of this range, okay, which we're looking at another 563 pips to the downside there, right? The other thing that is in the back of my mind, excuse me, is there is some bullish talk on the yens, as far as the yen starting to gain some strength, and there are some investors that are bullish on the yen, right? Things start to change and looking more positive for them, even though they haven't changed from a monetary perspective. Things are starting to shift, right? The other thing is we got 618 retracement here off the daily, right? So that in line with this weekly resistance level, okay, we could be in for a price to push to the downside, right? So something I'm watching there. Coming down to the 4, right? Similar story. 618 retracement, weekly resistance. And then we see here we also had evening star, bullish, indecision, bearish, right? Engulfing, indecision, engulfing, right? So that also is an indicator, some bearish action ahead. Okay. Bearish action ahead. So then you see price, it's trickling to the downside after that bearish candle, but pushing down nonetheless. Okay. All in line with that 618 retracement and that weekly resistance level. Okay. So my narrative right now is bearish. Okay. We come down here to the 1, and we see we also got a fresh AB boundary here in on the 1 hour, in line with that weekly level, turning over, pressing down. All right, turning over and pressing down. Right, so off that weekly level, we're already down over 100 pips. Right, 190 pips to the downside. Right, potential to continue. So we'll see what happens if we take out that A. We'll flip fibs and run them to the downside. Right, coming down to the lower time frame. Whoops. Coming down to the lower time frame on the 15. Look what we got. Right, even on the retracement, price has been pressing to the downside here. Right, this is that bearish move that all the yens caught. We got a 50% retracement, push to the D extension here. I'm sorry, this is on the 5, my bad. But even still, 618 retracement, we're pressing down. Right, so bounce back to the 15. And this is what we look like on the 15. My bad. That was the 5, smaller waves. So we could be in for a retracement on the lower time frames, potentially coming back to that 618 retracement zone. We'll see. All right. Strong bearish action. So we'll watch this to see what happens. We're in that 118, 127 zone. We could potentially see that retracement come. Okay. So we'll watch. Forget that. Give us a high price. Give us a high price to then potentially get back short. All right. That's my outlook on the pound yen. We'll see what continues to transpire. Questions here?
Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome. What are your thoughts on that, Marshall?
I agree with you.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see if we get this retracement. If we do, it could be opportunity just for a high price to then get back short.
I've got to get back to studying my fundamentals on this pair.
Yeah. Definitely makes it interesting, right? With the yen not making many changes, or with Japan not making many changes. So we'll see. We'll see. Hold on one second, everybody. Yeah. So we'll see. Okay.
We also want to, keep in mind that also a lot of times when you see the stock market and things like that rally, you typically see the pound do well.
Yeah.
So if the market shifts, right, the sentiment starts to sour. We look at contraction, even though it's still mixed right now. We saw what happened with the data that came out of the United States, how the market reacted to that, because the United States always leads the way in regards to that JOLTS jobs opening, right, missing target. So you saw that flight to safety with the yen, and you saw the reaction to the downside with the stock market. Right, so that kind of plays into that narrative of a continued down move on the pound yen.
Oh, that's a good
Thanks. So traditionally, right, in a traditional sense, that's how it goes. But be quite honest, like the data's just been all over the place, right?
Yeah.
There's been some solid moves, which is why I'm paying attention to those Aussies, because that Aussie has just been, after the correction, has just been on the continued decline. But some of these other pairs are kind of just bouncing all over the place. We know their rhetoric has been mixed out of the Bank of England with Bailey, and his rhetoric always tends to be a little bit all over the place. But we know that they had inflation, right? They had the inflation data came through at 10.4 on the last major inflation reading, right, which is above forecast. So this one will be interesting to watch. But I think at this point, a risk-off sentiment tops everything. We've really seen the market react in those risk-on, risk-off situations. As, like I say, just what we saw yesterday kind of spooked the markets with that U.S. job openings data.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good call. So we'll see how things transpire. Bro, anything else before we wrap up the session?
Oh no, man. Just continue to be patient. I'm just in a couple pairs right now. That's it. And we let the market come to us. So you kind of have to be, that lion lurking in the bush, waiting for that kill shot when you get your setup. So a lot of this game is patience and sitting on your hands for the right position. Great session as always. Look forward to seeing everybody tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Asian session.
All right, good people. Have an awesome Wednesday. We'll see you tonight. Peace.
Good night. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.